What is up, guys? Welcome to Supercars of London. Welcome to Swindon and the countryside. There's a very nice Aston Martin behind me. I'm wearing all of the layers because even though it's not raining, thankfully, it is very cold. But we've got a 2018 Aston Martin Vantage owned by John Modball, and I've travelled 2 hours to the countryside to get a real review of what this car is like to drive. Now, I've driven this car. It is arguably... Cheers, mate.
Sorry, just making sure you're...
You idiot. I've driven this car, and I reckon I'd put it in my top 3 cars that I've driven of 2018. But what is it like to own? Today, we're going to find out.
Put your heated seat on full blast.
Thank you. It is cold, and I haven't been out that long just to film the intro, but it's cold enough.
This is why I didn't come out, because it's too cold.
Yeah. It's
It's
8 degrees outside, and yeah, I've got like a turtleneck underlayer that's going on here.
Yeah.
I'll try and hide it to avoid anyone commenting on it.
When you said, are you going to get out? I was like, just going to shut the window.
Anyway, John, welcome back to the channel. I can't remember the last time that you were on my channel. I think it was when we went for the drive with Joel in his AMG GTC. Oh, no. After that, I took you out in the C63. Today, it's all about this car. I am very excited for this. This is my first time in the passenger seat of an Aston Martin Vantage this generation.
Yeah.
You, one of the first people to own this car.
I think so.
Yeah, you definitely are, because there's not many out there. I haven't seen that many on the road.
Yeah, there's not many around.
So you were one of the first people to collect it, meaning that this is probably going to be one of the first real, like, owner's review of the car. Do you know the paint code or the paint colour name for this? Because this is very close to True Blood.
Hyper Red.
Hyper Red, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's the one
so
that
deep.
It's like the demo that they had, that originally that they were taking around the dealerships.
Okay.
And it looks so good. I would never choose this colour probably, but I saw it and I was like, it's unbelievable.
This is the one that you... So, talk us through... Oh, the audio inside sounds so good.
It's in track mode.
It's in track mode.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Means we're going to crash it.
Don't say that.
Okay, so I've done 2,073 miles.
So we've just ticked over 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
When did you order this car? To get one of the early ones, you ordered it from Aston Martin Bristol.
I think it was end of last year.
End of last year. So you were fairly early. Yeah, early and efficient in terms of making a decision.
Yeah.
This is the car that I want. Different experience from the passenger seat. I always feel like I love driving because I'm in control, but from the passenger seat I'm always a little bit on edge. But there's nothing really to hold on to here. We haven't got a glove box.
No.
There's a handle down here. There's not a handle up here. Inside there is a beautiful mix of satin carbon and Alcantara. Yeah. Like, the spec on this is pretty bang on.
I think so,
yeah. I think the only thing that I would change, not criticising your spec, is I'd have all black wheels rather than diamond cut.
So you really like this car. What do you like about this car then?
I love...
I'll tell you what I like after.
The usability of it, firstly. It is a very practical car. I think when I stepped in the driver's seat of it, I was fully expecting it to be a slightly revised AMG GTS, because everyone gets so caught up in the engine block that's up the front, the 4-litre bi-turbo. But it is so different, because I've done a lot of miles in an AMG GTS. This car is so different. It feels smaller. It feels more like a track-focused car. It feels more like a sports car, whereas that is definitely a GT cruiser. And then what Aston Martin have done in terms of the redesigning, redevelopment of the suspension and the body roll and everything, it's essentially an AMG GTS mixed with like a Lotus Exige.
Okay.
So so that you merge the two together and you've got comfort, practicality with a phenomenal engine, but then you've got all of the perfect driving dynamics of a sports car.
And the Aston Martin brand.
And the Aston Martin brand, because it looks beautiful, and everything inside here is just like how an Aston Martin should.
Yeah.
So what do you like about it, being an owner?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything. I mean, there's the only thing I would change.
Okay.
The only thing I would change is the dials, because I had the old Vantage, which I loved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was broke always. There was always a light on or something not working. And you drive that compared to this, it's like
night and day.
It's driving your Murcielago probably compared to anything.
Heavy steering,
Are
heavy
your feet
engine.
like pointing another way?
My whole body's pointing in another way to the car
when it works. So
my car always works.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's kind of the same as that, but compared to the old one, it's like phenomenal. But the old one, they have like the dials, the speedo and everything looks like a watch, like a timepiece.
Yes.
Whereas this is all like digital, and it kind of doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
I think they should have kept it like a timepiece.
Yeah. So not gone digital display.
Maybe digital, but more.
But make it feel like
steel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So apart from that,
that's the only thing.
Really. So in terms of taking it into the city.
It's amazing. I was in London at my place this weekend, at the weekend.
Yeah.
It's just easier to drive. You know, the front lip doesn't bounce off the floor all the time. Like on the Lambo, you've got to constantly use the lift on the Lambo.
So this doesn't have a lift because of the height of it. It's actually all right.
Yeah, it's perfect. But yeah, I've done 2,000 miles in it. I've got a quarter of a tank.
Yeah.
I've done 300 miles on that tank already.
Really?
Still got a quarter of a tank. Yeah, and
I did 300 miles in the 2018 BMW i8
on a tank.
And on a tank.
How much is a tank?
55 quid.
Oh, okay. Well, I think this might have been 80. But still, yeah, it's great.
Just pricking my ears up ever so slightly, because the question that I want to ask you is, being a sports car and being around supercars and sports cars, obviously with Model Rally, you hear some crazy cars, and you must. What I'm basically getting at is this car plays audio through the interior, like an Aston Martin tone, so that when you're cruising around, it sounds like an Aston Martin, when in fact the exhausts probably aren't doing that much, is the way that you're driving now. When you're accelerating and when you're like properly on it in track mode, then it has a AMG-esque tone to the sound. Like,
I don't notice it.
Being an owner of it, does it just blend in?
Yeah, you don't notice it.
It works in this car.
Yeah, I don't think you notice it.
No.
It's not very loud at all. So
it's nice that it actually comes from up front. I don't know how. I'm assuming there's speakers up front, because like it doesn't sound like it's coming down from the footwell like it does on BMWs.
Yeah, I guess does it come from?
I think it's like, there's that stiff suspension. Let's look at the price of one of these, like 140, 150 grand, versus a 40 grand Vantage.
Yeah, because you still got to find 40 grand to buy it.
Yeah,
and then you've got to run it. I did, I think 800 miles the last year of owning that car. Not even
800.
I think Crazy Steve drove it more than I did. You know Steve, don't you?
Yeah.
Steve's the guy who does all the organising of all the car displays on Modboard, Crazy Steve. So I think he drove it more than me, and 4.5 grand.
Oh my god, yeah.
See, and then in this you're getting it,
nothing.
Warranty, everything's covered. I've had no problems with it.
In summary, you're loving the ownership of it. You would change the digital display to a little bit more of a timepiece style like the old one.
Yeah.
But apart from that, that's the only thing that you would take from the old one and put into the new.
The only thing.
So 99.8% perfect, would you say?
Yeah.
It's not bad going. That is a real review on the Aston Martin Vantage. I genuinely turned up kind of expecting you to say some more bad things.
No.
It's so good.
I want to do a review of the Hurricane. If it works. No, I'm just kidding. We should do a review of your Murcielago in a year.
Okay, feel free to do so. I will see you soon, guys. Take care. Let me know whether you enjoyed this video, and it's something that I actually want to try and do a little bit more of, is jumping into owners' cars and hearing their stories and experiences with the cars that they're owning, because the attachment, emotionally, financially, everything just balances it out quite nicely. But the sun is setting, the sun is low, and it's only 3 p.m, so we're definitely getting into winter, but I'm so thankful that the sun is shining. See you soon, guys. Please subscribe. Head into the link in the description to check out John Modball's Instagram page, because you get to see this car in much better detail, and his Hurricane, and other things that he's doing along the way. So I'll see you soon, guys. What? Your dog?
My dog.
Oh, thank God you said that. I thought you said my
Oh, dude.
Cheers, guys. Bye.